Roob's Observations is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. I want to start with the defense. Look, they gave up a lot of yards, almost 400 yards, gave us points. But when I look at the defense performance, you look at 4 plays in the second half. They got 4 huge stops. The Keely Ringo 4th down pass knockdown on Sterling Shepard, the Jahad Campbell interception, the Jalix Hunt forced fumble on Bucky Irving, and then the Parry Nickerson tackle and stuff on 4th down to end the game. Parry Nickerson playing his first game in 2 years. You got to love him coming up huge at the end of that game. And those are the kind of plays that this defense makes. And that's why the total yards and that kind of thing, 3rd down numbers, that doesn't really matter because they make clutch plays when they have to. And that's what you look for from a from a great defense. You look for those huge plays at key moments. And they made 4 of them in the second half that really kept the momentum away from the Bucs and gave the Eagles an opportunity to win a game when they weren't doing anything on offense, which brings us to the first half, second half. The offense looked unbelievable in the first half of this game. And the second half, they just couldn't get out of their own way. It was about as big a disparity as I've ever seen from one half to another half. And it's a concern because they still haven't put together 60 minutes of offense. And so the question is, whose fault is it when you have -1 net yard, no passing, no completions in the second half? And look, Kevin Patullo is the easy guy to blame because he's the one thing that's changed since last year. And I think there's been times where he's called some good plays. I like the red zone calls, the Goddard shovel passes. I like the fake tush push. But overall, we just haven't seen 60 minutes of sharp, creative, inventive play calling that keeps the defense off balance. We just haven't seen it over a full game. And it's been 4 weeks, and they're 4-0, so you don't want to go crazy with this. But and I know Jalen's going to blame himself, and Saquon blamed himself and all that, but I think you got to look squarely at the play calling. It's got to get better. It's got to get more unpredictable, more creative, more inventive. They've got to keep defenses from understanding what the Eagles want to do, and so far that hasn't happened. And the final thing I want to talk about is just you look at the schedule. When the schedule came out in April, or I think it was early May, you look at Dallas, Kansas City, Rams, Tampa, and that is a minefield right there. You got your biggest division rival. Then you got a team that was in the Super Bowl last year that's won more games than anybody since Mahomes got there. And then you have 2 perennial playoff teams that were both undefeated in the Rams and the Bucs. That is a tough way to start a season, especially coming off a Super Bowl when teams traditionally get off to slow starts trying to come back from. So to get to 4-0 with that kind of schedule, I know it hasn't been pretty. There have been some ugly wins, some close wins, some games where everybody was holding their breath at the end of the fourth quarter. But just to be 4-0 when they haven't played a complete game, they haven't played a 60-minute game that they can be proud of on both sides of the football, with that schedule, I think really speaks volumes about the leadership on this team. Nick Sirianni and his ability to get these guys ready to play. Hasn't been pretty, but 4-0 looks awfully pretty right now.